Hello. Hi, am I audible? Okay, guys. So let's get started. So the first question is from Prince. I have an Indian puppy, roughly 3 months old. How to train him? Well, Prince, the first thing that you must get started with is toilet and potty training. And after that, when it comes to the basic obedience, before even getting started with the basic obedience, make sure that you have a very specific routine for started for your puppy, which would include fixed time for meals, roughly, and roughly fixed time for play, and which also means that you are not going to be entertaining any sort of play outside of those hours or outside of those timings. Okay, and also be very sure, which means that stay make the sleeping time, make the resting time absolutely non-negotiable, which means that you are not going to be entertaining your puppy's tantrums when it's sleeping time, just like you would do with a young baby. The second one, just a second, wait it, wait it. Just a second. Yeah, and the second question is from Anu. How do you train dogs to not chase vehicles? It's a very good question. The first thing is to understand why does your dog want, what does your dog or your puppy want to chase your chase cars? Okay. First thing is understand that this particular behavior has got to do with the prey drive, which means when again in most of the dogs cases when they're puppies, the prey drive is very high, but they age as they age, their prey drive lessens. But again, it might not be the case in all of the dogs' cases. Just give me a second, guys. I'm just a little bit distracted because my puppy is around. Okay. So again, how do you train dog not to chase vehicles? Plain and simple. First things first, you have to teach your dog basic obedience, which also means training your dog outdoors as well. So once you are able to put in place that action plan, then it's time to move on to impulse control exercises, which also means asking a dog to sit or wait or down, and then asking for it around other vehicles. It might not be very close to the vehicles, maybe a bit away from the vehicles, but you have got to do that. And whenever your dog is trying to chase it, you have to correct it. That's the first step. But again, you also have to make sure that when your dog is, let's say, if you're not giving your dog any command like sit down or wait, anything like that, then also if your dog is trying to go ahead and push for chasing the vehicles, then also you have to go for a no. Again, understand one thing: no by itself holds no meaning whatsoever. You will have to train your pup using negative reinforcement for that, which does not mean that you have to hit. But again, what the negative reinforcement means that you preferably go for a leash pressure or say a leash jerk, and then pair it up with a suitable alternative reward, preferably a tug of war or food, whichever works very high for your dog. Okay. Potty training. Somebody just posted a question. Potty training is not so easy, right? Well, potty training is definitely very easy, but what is not easy is toilet training because for very young pups, it may take quite a bit of time, preferably anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks if you are not being consistent. Because we all understand that inconsistencies do creep in all the time in your lifestyle, in a person's lifestyle. So it may take time. But again, when it comes to medium-aged dogs or adult-aged dogs, it it usually gets done faster. But again, if you really want to fix it, I mean, I always recommend it to everybody. Take your dog outdoors because that way your dog understands not to live himself indoors. And trust me, most of the dogs who learn to relive outdoors, they do not try to do it indoors. As simple as that. And it makes keeping them very hygienic very easy. Okay, let's move on to the other questions. It's a question by Meg Vora. My golden retriever keeps barking a lot whenever there's people outside our door. He's scared and won't even let anyone pet him. He does not even learn commands unless we have treat in hand. We'll make first of all, I do not know what the age of your dog is. That's a very important question. And second is you have to make sure that you are training your dog around a lot of people, or if it's not a lot of people, at least you're training your dog eventually in outdoors where there are people around and things like that, so that your dog eventually gets habituated to be around other people. Okay, and as well as other distractions and noises. It could also be that your dog is very sensitive to sound or outside sound that's coming from outside. So it's very important to give him a realistic picture what's coming and what's going on. So let's say if there are people waiting outside, so you can simply open the door and let him just observe. Even if he acts nervous, you don't do anything about it, you just let him be. Because what happens is that most of the time, Mother Earth, no, so Mother Earth has solutions for everything. So if a dog is acting very, no, so if your dog is acting very nervous, or let's say your dog is acting scared, in that case, it's very crucial that you give him more exposure, regular exposure to outdoors, regular exposure to other people. Again, understand one thing: if your dog does not appreciate people petting him or her, do not push him. Okay, and again, that does not mean that you do not bring out your dog in front of other people. You do, but never force him to do something, especially taking affection from other people, if he does not like it. It's a very specific thing because more often than not, most dogs get ruined. Their behavior, the social behavior gets ruined when you try to force them to, receive affection or food or things like that from strange people. It does not matter whether you know that other person, your dog doesn't know that other person. For your dog, you are the family, okay? And you try to keep it like that. So there's a question from Jishu Mandal. How to make him calm? Well, it's a very generic, it's a very broad-ended question, very frankly, and there are multiple facets to it. First, you take care of the nutrition, and you have to make sure that your dog is not, your dog's not getting a kind of nutrition that is, not nutritious first, and also have to make sure that your dog is getting the right quantity of vitamins and minerals and the proper food that is not appropriate for his tummy. Second, exercise, over exercise, under exercise, both are detrimental. You do not need that. You want an exercise regime that is suitable for his, for the breed, as well as one that suits your lifestyle. The third factor is, setting up do's and don'ts inside the house. You have to put in place absolute non-negotiables of what is allowed and what is not allowed. Most specifically, what is not allowed inside the house or around people or animals in general. No, so you have to teach it first because a lot of the times what we let our dogs get away with, it also molds them. You can't say that, oh, just ignore and everything will be okay. No, sometimes certain behaviors, certain instructions have to be made non-negotiable. And if a dog is pushing it to the table, you have to remove it. And most importantly, you have to focus on teaching them the right behaviors around other day-to-day social situations through the help of basic obedience, which means that, let's say right now I'm just attending to the session, and I have a puppy who has been constantly getting very fidgety and restless. So I had to just put my foot down and just not let him move, and just grab the leash in my hand. As you can see, as I always tell people, that use the leash extensively indoors if you are trying to teach your puppy good manners inside the house. It is not to tie up your puppy, but it is to guide him away from the things that he should not be doing first, and also to encourage him to do the things that you want more of. Most people get locked inside the pattern of, oh, how do I make him stop? How do I make my dog not to do that? How do I make my dog do this and not do that? So most people again focus on how not to do the things, how to control the things. So instead of that, in the formative years, it's very important that you focus more on building the habits that you really want to look forward in your dog. Okay, and that would be through the help of setting habits, everyday habits. So there's a question from Rachna. I have pug of 4 months. He bites too much. Legs, hands, wood, everything. I need a solution. Well, if your dog is being destructive, you need to buy a crate. As simple as that. If you're expecting that, oh, your dog, your puppy will understand not to bite anything and everything, you are being absolutely unrealistic. It does not happen like that. It's almost like saying, okay, I've got a leopard in my house and I don't want him to eat up my son or my husband or myself. It doesn't happen like that. If the leopard is hungry, you'll have to do it. You'll have to, he will have to feed himself. So either feed the leopard time to time, or you just the leopard back into his norm, in the natural habitat, which is the forests. Again, in this case, puppies will always try to chew everything. It is what they do. There's nothing that you can do about it. The only way you can manage it is through using leash extensively first. Second, get your puppy some activity that you can enjoy that is going to exhaust him. And third, use crate. Wherever you are unable to supervise your puppy directly, use the crate, because prevention is better than cure. And right now, you can't fix puppy destructive habits. It will go, but it won't go at that age. So there's a question from Madhavi. My German Shepherd pup is 4 months old. His play biting is now becoming a problem for us. Even though we give him toys, he still bites our hands and legs. Could you please give me a solution to this issue? Okay, so again, same thing. Uh, you know, to expect that your pup will constantly, self satisfy himself or self entertain himself with the help of once you give him the toys. It does not work like that, because for him, for the puppy, the enrichment is through the form of interaction with you, through engagement with you, and he tries to do that with you in the form of play biting and mouthing. So again, if you're thinking of assuming that simply by let me just buy a bunch of toys and give him and he will self-entertain himself for hours, that's absolute nonsense. Get out of that. I know it's a very commonly peddled advice online on online platforms and in the mouth of many experts, but that is exactly not how it works. You have to make sure that whenever you are getting a toy, you are engaging him, you are playing with him. If not, give him a proper edible chew toy that he can actually finish by himself. If not, if that's not what you are looking for, we'll have to engage your puppy or the dog with the help of a toy, an interactive toy. Plain and simple. Your pup is not going to self-entertain himself, because pups get bored very easily and they have an attention span of a housefly. So take your pick. So choose your battles wisely. There's a question from Shiva Lakshmi. Do we always need a professional trainer for a 3-year-old German Shepherd? Well, Shiva Lakshmi, it is not so. and I'll tell you why. Because it totally depends on what exactly are you trying to address, or what are the exactly are you trying to set up with your dog. If it's a good behaviors, then you can definitely go ahead and do it by yourself. But again, provided that you know what exactly what you're doing. Okay, and because there are ample amount of resources available online, and you can just always try to learn it and try to do it yourself. Okay, and if not, if you're still struggling, then it's time to get the help of a professional trainer rather than going for every random xyz people, experienced pet owners. That doesn't work like that, because typically a professional trainer trains at least 100 to 200 dogs every year, a good trainer. Okay, and so they always have a lot of tricks, solutions, training plans in place that they do put into place with the dogs. Okay, and so yeah, there you go. And especially if it's a if you are struggling with resource guarding, or let's say human aggression related challenges, then I would definitely recommend that you get in touch with a professional trainer, whether online or offline. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so another question from Manoj Prabhakar: how to train to stop biting? I mean, stop biting a puppy. No, sorry, you cannot bite a puppy. Okay, so puppy biting is very simple. You use the toys to redirect the puppy's attention first. Second is you put him to place work, some sort of work, preferably those work, or let's say a little bit of light exercise from time to time throughout the day, preferably 2 to 3 times in a day. Okay, and also you have to make sure that you are giving ample amount of time to rest, which means sleep, because puppies do tend to fight the feeling of sleepiness, and they with meet my puppy, guys. Sorry, he has been whining a lot, like a proper puppy. So he is super whiny puppy lately, and German shepherds are actually well known whiners. They whine a lot, a lot. Okay, so again, let's get back to the question: how to stop puppy biting? First things first, give him a lot of exposure, especially if it's a puppy. Take your pup outdoors with food. Feed one meal at least outdoors. You will see your pup will get exhausted a lot mentally, and that will help him sleep better throughout the day. So it's a question from Saravanan. I have a male Doberman, 4 years old. It keeps on being very ferocious while seeing any cats and barks heavily. Is there any exercise to stop it? Uh, well, Saravanan, first things first, you have to understand that, you know, why your dog is barking. Is he bored? Is he tired? Is he underexercised? Is he understimulated or overstimulated? It all boils down to what the typical lifestyle of the dog is. So, because most of the time we are looking for quick fixes, but it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You have to make sure that you are addressing and fulfilling the basic needs of the dog. Okay, and and most importantly, if you are seeing that your dog is fixating on other animals through from the balcony or from the house or on the roads as well, uh, first thing is, why are you not stopping it? If your dog knows the command no, start using it in different contexts, in in different situations, to make sure that your dog generalizes that comment, that command. That way you'll be able to get much better success with your dog. So this is a question from Preeti Yajaman. uh, I don't know, sorry if I spelled it wrong. My 8-month-old puppy says no to kibble and eats every other food. Reason and solution: please. So the first question is, why do you want your dog to have kibbles? And the second obvious question is, why does he get to have other foods? If you're in the session right now, please post a follow-up question with regards to this. Because if you can at least answer one of the question, you will get the answer to your next question as well, the second follow-up question as well. And in fact, you will also come up with your own solution here. So this is the question from Shamali. Hi Saptadeep, I'm from Kolkata. I have adopted an Indian puppy, but the thing is that I have a small house, have an open roof. I tried every way to train, but failed for potty training. I wake up at 6 a.m., but before I wake up, she pooped in the room. After her dinner, I played with her, but she never pooped after dinner. I used potty training spray, but not worked. How can I train her in my busy schedule? Please help me. And she ate her own poop. Is it normal? I think this question was answered previously, if I'm not wrong. So, okay, let me just go ahead and try to answer it again. So, first thing is that try to feed your puppy at a time, at least before going to sleep. Like, let's say if you're getting up at 6 o'clock, and again, first things first, try to understand when does your puppy relieve himself. If there's somebody who is staying back inside the house when you are not there, you have to ask them to track when your puppy relieves himself usually. And because most puppies, they do relieve themselves right before mealtime or after mealtime. That would be roughly around 10 15 minutes in that gap, in that window period. And if somehow anyhow you are missing out, then you'll have to shuffle the timing, because at least give a, let's say if your puppy is pooping midnight or somewhere in the very early morning, you may have to shift the dinner time a bit later. Let's say preferably instead of 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, you may have to shift it to 11 or 12 o'clock. Okay, guys, just give me 30 seconds. I need to take out my puppy for pee. Sorry. Hi guys, so I'm back. Sorry, he needed to pee very badly and he really emptied out his entire bowel. So I'm pretty proud of him right now because he had to pee a lot. Okay, so let's get back to the questions. So yeah, what I was telling Shamali, push the dinner time a bit later. Let's say instead of 9 o'clock. I'm just again, I don't know at what time do you feed your dinner? You feed your puppy the dinner. If it's around, let's say 8 or 9 o'clock, try and push it towards 11 o'clock, maybe 1 hour or 1.5 hours before you go to sleep. And that way, what would happen is that you will get ample amount of time to make him relieve himself. Or what you could do, I would strongly suggest, instead of doing that, what you could also do, you can shift the dinner time a bit earlier. Let's say instead of 8 or 9 o'clock, then push it to 6 o'clock in the evening time. So that way, what would happen, that by the time you're going off to sleep, and again, I'm assuming that most people, again, based on what most people go to sleep at night is 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. So you'll have got 6 hours heads up to monitor and make sure that your puppy is relieving before going off to sleep. Thank you. And okay, let's go to the next question from Lahari. Lahari. Okay, Lahari. Can't take any command on aggressive mode. I don't know what you are asking for, like what you mean by that. Please be specific, maybe rephrase your question and post it again. I will take it up. So this is a question from Chayanika. How to control food aggression? So first things first, you don't control food aggression. The first thing is understand why food aggression occurs. Okay, because there are many puppies when they are young, they do not get ample amount of feeding from their mom or the mother, and sometimes after they are weaned away from their mother's milk, they do not get ample amount of food, as a result of which they do develop food aggression. Okay, first. Second thing is, uh, the easiest way to control food aggression is that take your puppy out, take your dog out for a natural play exercise and walk or whatever it is. Once that is complete, give him food, put on the leash, give him food. If he does not want to have, just move him away to another room or just take him away and then remove the bowl. So never let it be lying around for like endlessly. There are so many people who just put down the food bowl and they feel like, okay, if my dog does not want to have it right now, or he can have it anytime he wants, I'll just let this be lying around. So that you're just trying to counter your own guilt trips, maybe, or whatever it is. Many people have different motivations around the same. So put the food down, keep it for 5 minutes. If a dog wants to have it, let him have it. If he does not want to have it, just first things first, uh, just take the leash and move him out to another room, and then ask somebody else to keep away the food bowl. As simple as that. Okay. And again, no fiddling around, no messing around, no teasing the dog while the dog is having food, please. And it also applies to all the children inside the house, all the toddlers inside the house. You have to make sure they know the ground rules. If you are still fiddling with that, and then basically you are playing with the fire. There's nothing in this world that can help you. Okay, so I think we are done with the questions. A lot of people had posted just their details, but they did not post their questions. So guys, please make sure that you are posting your questions very specifically in the last box. Okay. Oh, okay. So we have another question from, I don't know, somebody. Can do have flu? My 2-year-old beagle is sneezing a lot. Um, there is a homeopathic medicine that we use for all our kennel dogs as well as our own personal dogs, which is Rhus Tox. It is RHUS space TOX. The full name is Rux toxicodendron, and it's a very common homeopathic medicine. You can get it from any homeopathic shop, good homeopathic shop, and you can feed the pills as well as the liquid. If it's a liquid, then you'll have to feed at least 4 to 5 drops every serving, and 4 to 5 times in a day throughout the day. Okay, and if it's a pills, you can feed anywhere between 5 to 10 pills at a go, and feed your puppy 2 to 3 times. Again, make sure that your puppy is getting ample amount of sun bath in the morning. That is going to make sure that your pup's cold is being taken care of. So again, this is something that I personally use for all my dogs. It works very well. Okay, so this is a remark by Priti. Kibble is his main food as it gives him the complete nutrition. Okay, so Priti, understand that it's not necessary that the kibble provides, again, although the kibble companies do promote it as a complete nutrition, but understand that kibble, not all kibbles are provide complete nutrition. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are giving your dog meat and vegetables and those things. Okay, and again, if you're feeding a very high quality, let's say kibbles like Origin, Akana, or Farmina, or even Hulk's diet. Again, there are a couple of new companies out there that do provide very good options. One that I recently come across is Hulk's diet. Okay, so they offer non-veg options mixed with vegetables. It's, I think, dehydrated form, if I'm not wrong. So again, a couple of my clients, they are using it, and it's a very good. I mean, their feedback has been great so far. So you might want to consider that. Okay. But again, understand one thing, that for a young puppy, what are the complete nutrition? First is a dietary fiber, and the second is the most important part is animal protein. The third is a little bit of fat, a little bit of fat. It can be vegetable fat, preferably let's say coconut oil or flaxseed oil, okay, or salmon oil or fish or mutton fat or chicken fat. Those are important. Small portions, but it's required because it gives the dog a consistent flow of energy, and it prevents random spikes in the sugar level of the dog, which coincidentally cause a lot of hyperactivity in dogs who are fed or who are kept on high portions of carbohydrates. Okay, so there's a question from Lahari. Lahari, my GSD baby can't take command on aggressive mode, especially when see anyone. Well, in that case, the first things first that you have to teach your dog is basic obedience, and then prove it around other people and other dogs, etc. Because there's no other way that you can really try and make your dog take the commands when the dog is in aggressive mode. And because when taking instructions from you is made optional, which means that there are times when you give command to the dog and that your dog doesn't follow through it, and then you make some excuse on behalf of it, like, oh, my dog is not feeling well, or oh, he's not in the mood. So this doesn't work like that. You have to make sure that whenever you're giving command, your dog follows through it, and you have to make sure that you're following it up. Okay, so if you're going to be making excuses on behalf of your dog, rest assured your dog is not going to listen to you when, let's say, there are triggers around. And you, again, if your dog is really aggressive, you have to make sure that you are training a lot around those specific triggers. I hope that answers your question. All right, Preeti. Thank you, sir. The answer is yeah. We are welcome, Preeti. So, okay, guys. So as mentioned, as promised, we have the copy ready, and we have got a bit of treats. I've just got, because I personally do not buy commercial treats, so I've just got a couple of biscuits, because otherwise the pup is not his feeding time, so I'll not be using his main meal right now. Let me just set the camera. So, okay, so the agenda for today's session is how to develop the focus and engagement with your dog. Because, see, you may go ahead and train your dog for basic obedience commands, but at the end of the day, if your dog's mind is somewhere else, if your dog would rather pay attention to something else, if something else is competing against your attention, against your presence, then it's going to be super hard for you to get a cooperation from your dog, and there's no questions about it. And most importantly, you have to understand that if your dog is gets in the habit of taking instructions from you and paying attention to you, it is going to make your life a lot more easier. And understand this thing, you are going to face much less behavioral issues like attention seeking behaviors and misbehaviors due to that, and destructive behaviors and things like that. So again, eyes drive the emotions, the emotions drive the behaviors drive the body. Likewise. So eyes, brain, body. That is the sequence. So today I'm going to show you how you can train your dog, by using a very simple method. But again, without using too much of treats. Again, if you want to use commercial treats, you can do that. If you want to use his daily meal, you can also do that. So it boils down to what you want to do. So I'm going to show you and explain it to you step by step. Give me a second, please. Okay, the first thing is, first thing is grab a leash, because again we are trying to train a puppy, and we never train a puppy without a leash, because we only get rid of the leash indoors and outdoors when your puppy knows and responds really well to the command, no matter what. Okay, so until unless you have gone through that proofing phase, do not try to get rid of the leash. So once you've got the leash, you've got the biscuits in the treat pouch. Okay, so again, understand one thing, that there are many variations of this that are available on the internet. There are many people who believe in constantly prompting the dog with by showing the treats and all, by saying look, look. But I personally do not subscribe to that, because I believe that dog must believe that he is trying to manipulate you rather than the other way around. How does it happen? It's very simple. Once the puppy gives you the eye contact, I immediately say it with a mark it with a yes or good command. Okay? Yes. I. So you can just simply take a sip, and after initial stages, take a sip. And so right now, as you can see, my puppy is super interested in getting the food from, stealing the food from the bag. Okay, and he's just focused on my hands. So I'm not guiding him. He has to yes. So he has to make that decision. No, don't be in a hurry. Try and get his attention. You just have to behave. So again, I'm not luring him. I'm just keeping it. So again, he's thinking that if I play with the hand, if I constantly wall the hands, I'll get the food. I'm delaying it. Yes. So the moment I'm waiting for that small little moment when he's going to pay attention to my eyes, he's going to look into my eyes directly. Once he does that, I'll simply go ahead with and mark for the yes, and immediately follow it up with the food. There cannot be much delay. Otherwise, the dog or the puppy will not be able to correlate looking to your eyes with good things in life. Okay? Everyone has got into a down position. I'm not saying anything. Yes. Ooh, brava. Oh. So again, yes. Oh my, yeah. So the more extensive period of time you spend doing this, conditioning this, you will have a puppy whose focus is impeccable and absolutely non-disturbed. Yes. So again, the puppy is getting the heat of the moment. The puppy is thinking that if I scratch hard enough, if I walk hard enough, if I push hard enough, I will get the food. So I put in a safe mode. I will get him. Oh, this is very painful. I know. So, but then again, yes, I am. Boy, no. Yes. So again, understand this, that many people they end up constantly asking the dog to sit or down, do this, that. But that is not our goal. The goal is simply to just wait, and wait. Okay? And then the moment the puppy looks up tightly to your eyes, you mark it and you condition it. Okay? You train him to get the reward on looking into your eyes. So right now, as you can see, I'm not even using the save or down or wait or whatever commands. I'm simply marking is the moment is given eye contact. Yes, baixa and oh, very yo, brave, there. Your name. Yes. Oh, such a smart puppy. Oh, Shama. Ah, ah. Yes. Oh, man. Shiva. Yes. Oh. Yes. Oh. So now the next step is I'll move into a walking position. Okay. Yes. 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 Good. Bravo. Yes. Bravo. Nice. Yes. Yes. Bravo. So, as you have seen, that we can we can condition the dog to constantly focus on us when we are around. So that makes communication much more easier. Now, after this step, what you can do, once you can see that your dog is even able to keep up with your momentum and walking around the house and is constantly trying to fight for the attention by looking into your eyes, turning himself around and looking into your eyes, you try to randomly reward that with the food, with his daily meals, or even the treats. Okay. And the next step is to take it outdoors eventually. Let's say the terrace and the downstairs, garage, the lane in front of you, the children's park in front of you, in front of your house. Try to use the opportunity, use the meal time, constantly train for the eye contact. You know, the more prominent eye contact, eye contact habit is established, the lesser behavioral issues that you are going to face. Because a lot of the behavioral issues stem from the not establishing the right communication, not establishing the proper eye contact on a regular basis. This way, you can make it a habit for your dog to look into your eyes. Okay, so again, you don't always have to do it, but whenever you are seeing that your dog's attention span on you is reducing or falling, or let's say 6 months down the line or 1 year down the line, take up the food, start training him to look into your eyes without even prompting. Okay, let him figure it out. And then start pushing the challenges from a sitting position to a standing position to walking position to outdoors to around other dogs and other people. Okay, I hope it makes sense. If you have a question, please drop it in the comment. I will just come and attend to it. Guys, do you have any question? Please post it. I'll just take it up. Okay, guys. So shall we just wind it up now? Because there's not any question that's coming up from your end. So if you and if do any of you want to ask any more questions, you can raise your hand as well. I can I can just unmute you from my end. Okay, so when you're leaving the dog easy on the leash to make eye contact, isn't like the leash walking rules. He's not to look up while walking, else he will bang into things. Not really. It does not work like that, and I will tell you why. Because you are constantly walking with your dog besides, just right besides you. If he's banging into things, then which means that you are not paying attention first. Second is that it does not mean that your dog is constantly staring at you, but it's like your dog is constantly checking in with you every few seconds, every few moments. Okay, and this actually makes the back drive way stronger. Okay, and I have never had a issue with this because this is something that goes in tune with how the dogs work. They look after each other and their focus. Because just give me a second. So no matter what, you have to make sure that you're no, because here we are not forcing the dog to pay attention. That the dog is freely giving eye contact. So what we're trying to establish is frequent and free eye contact towards you. When that happens, no matter what, we can guide the dog in the correct way. So he's not supposed to look up now, but I'm giving him treat every time he makes eye contact. Okay. So yeah, he is supposed to look up, but then again, see, this is a very open-ended question, and this is a particular concern that many of the old school trainers have raised from time to time. Okay, and quite frankly, when even when I'm healing, when I'm properly healing in a competitive heal work with my own dog, it has never happened that the dog has banged against things. Because when the dog is not healing, but when the dog is just simply on a loose leash walk, here what happens is that your dog is constantly trying to anticipate where your movement is, where your eye contact is going. At some point, the dog's synchronization with your eye contact, your movement, your pace is very harmonious. Okay. So, and most dogs, they are always constantly checking out the environment as well as getting back to you just to check you out. Okay, okay, are you okay? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do next? Things like that. Like Chalak. Guys, any more questions? Any more? All right, then we'll just wind up the session for today. And I hope it was a productive one for you guys. And if you have any more questions, please do post it in the that questionnaire form, the registration link every single time. Please do not hesitate to use it as much as possible. If you have to, let's say, come here. If you have to post questions multiple times, do it. There's no problem. If you have got no rules against multiple posting of questions. Okay. All right, guys. Then we'll just wind up the session for today. And thank you for attending it. Bye bye.